Welcome to Draw One Last Breath Horror Podcast. My name's Matt.
I'm Butch.
I'm Johnny Paul. Get me out of here.
On this episode 168, we have been to Shudder to watch the latest offerings, Black Cab, and our movie from the vault is Subspecies. How are you guys doing?
Subpar. So, no, I'm alright. Yeah, we were lucky enough to get a screener this week from a company called Alternate Current, and I watched Your Monster. Did any of you other boys watched it?
No, I haven't had a chance yet. What did you think?
No.
It's not bad. It started that Michelle Barrera from Scream, and yeah, it's like a tale of sort of inner rage, and it doesn't really let you in on what's real and what's not. It's got a bit of a sing along. It's a bit of the musical numbers in there. Very Amdram, so or not so. It's set in New York, and it's not bad. It's just a bit of sort of a love tale, really, with a monster and with herself, and trying to love herself again after being ditched by some director that she was involved with. And yeah, it was interesting, but it's a good story. Not so much on the horror angle. Bit horror-like. But there you go, I watched that. And another one, which I did like, on Amazon at the moment, is called Haunt Season. So if you liked Haunt, remember that little bad boy? Yeah, it's sort of, I'm not going to say Haunt-like. It's an 18, and it's got a lot of kills. The kill count is numerous, and it's not as sort of got, it's a smaller production value than Haunt. But, yeah, it's along the same lines, haunt mazes and all that sort of malarkey. It wasn't bad. Worth a watch. That's on Amazon. So, yeah, if you liked Haunt, go and check this, Haunt Light. If you like. There we go. That's my couple of weeks.
Jordy Paul, what have you been up to? What have you been watching?
No, I haven't really watched a lot, guys. I'm sort of under the weather a bit, so I've sort of been using any spare time to try and sleep. But yeah, so but I did watch a couple of films. I'm always cautious about getting recommendations from people, but a reputable clothing company which was on Facebook, who we all know and love, but there are other clothing establishments out there, recommended one, so I thought I'd give it a go because it was on some great TV or something on one of the film channels. It's called Await Further Instructions. So this is actually a British film. I believe it's on Shudder because I'm sure I've seen the artwork. The artwork's quite cool for it, so it's definitely on there. Yeah, it's got David Bradley in it, who's obviously the caretaker in Harry Potter, and he's in Game of Thrones and The Strain, and obviously a load of other stuff. I mean, he doesn't play the lead part. He's kind of a side character in it, but yeah, it's a bit weird. It's like it's like a Christmas film basically, which is a bit of a weird one. But it's about a family who gets they put together a Christmas, and they're all together, and they're a bit dysfunctional's a bit light of a word for this family. They're all over the place, and then they get trapped in their house. Basically something happens and they try and leave, and they're basically locked in their house. There's this like black thing over their house and they can't get out. And it's just a word on the TV saying await further instructions. And then obviously it gives them further instructions, and it just all goes very wrong very quickly. It's alright. I thought it was building up to something really, really cool, and then it kind of sort of, there's some really dodgy acting in it as well. It kind of sort of, I just didn't think it stuck the landing, so, but it was middle of the road, so it's definitely worth a go if you're stuck for anything to watch. And then the only other thing I watched was possibly one of the worst films I have ever seen, and really, really bad. Have you guys seen The Snowman with Michael Fassbender in it?
No, I remember when it came out, it got panned.
Oh my god, it is absolutely shocking, guys. And like, I know the book's a bestseller, it's done really, really well, but the film was absolutely terrible. So I'm not going to say any more on it. Just don't bother, because I love serial killer stuff. I love thriller stuff. There's a bit of a horror element to it as well, but it's just shite. Absolute a mess of a film. Which really shocked us because it's the director who did let the right one in as well. So, but yeah, terrible, awful film. Anyway, that was me.
Well, that sounds good, guys. You've been really busy. I have not watched anything apart from the first 3 Harry Potter films that have horror elements with them anyway, but I'm just letting my son watch them at the moment, but it's good fun. But yeah, great stuff.
That's a stretch. Yeah, that's a stretch, but yeah.
Not a stretch. There's plenty of horror. As they go on, they get worse as well, so, you know. Wolves and everything. Anyway, should we get on to some news? Anybody got any news?
I've got a couple of bits. Start off with sad news, guys. Should we start off with sad news? Rest in peace, the legend that is Tony Todd.
Sad times.
Yeah, raise a glass, man.
Yeah. Candyman himself. I think he died the day we did the last podcast, didn't he? So it's been a couple of weeks, but just thought I'd mention that one, yeah. So forever cemented his legend, I think, to be fair.
Yeah, he's a horror icon, you know, definitely. 100%.
And it's so amazing how much stuff he'd actually done when they went. I was kind of read through what he'd done. So much
Final
stuff.
Destination. He was in. If you remember him, still there.
Hatchet,
yeah.
Yeah.
Platoon.
That's crazy. Always forget about Platoon.
But yeah, he'll always be our Candyman, won't he?
So anyway, the complete opposite to that. I'm surprised you guys haven't heard this yet. There's a remake of Idle Hands on its way.
I did read that, yeah, I did see that.
So it's been produced by Finn Wolfhard of Stranger Things and Ghostbusters fame, and Jason Reitman.
Mate,
interesting.
It's so going to be so different because if you go, we watched that, didn't we? Geordie Paul Round Yours, remember? A couple of years back, probably now.
Proper 90s playlist. It was fucking sublime. Yeah. Offspring. It had loads of fucking cool pop punk tunes.
Go watch it again, Butch, because they'll never remake it like they made it, because there's some suggestive stuff in there that probably wouldn't land in this kind of day and age. So I can't see them not woking it up, you know. But yeah, all good.
Butcher, you'll be very, very happy at this news. It's just been announced that the Under Paris 2 is going to be shooting soon with the survivors of the original Under Paris.
I thought that would do bank. I mean, that's an easy thing to do because it wasn't awful, and I think it did captivate.
I mean, it kind of was awful, but you know, it did do bank for them. So yes, I get why there's a sequel, Paul.
Bring it on!
Yay! But yeah, no, I thought you'd be happy with that one. And then my last bit of news, which is, I'm not sure how I feel about this, lads. So we can have a little talk around this one, I think. So, I can't even remember his bloody name, who did Prey, who's basically in charge of Predator franchise now.
Dan
Trachtenberg.
Yeah, the director, is he doing Badlands, yeah?
He's on board, isn't he? I thought.
Yeah, so the director of Badlands has come out and give a bit of sort of, not story around it, but has basically released a statement saying that the Predator in this film is actually the protagonist of the film. So the audience will be seeing it from the Predator's point of view and actually be rooting for the Predator the whole film.
I'm always rooting for the Predator. So
well, I'm a bit worried about this then, guys, to be honest. Because I just think what do? Do you pit the Predator against nasty humans, or do you pit him against aliens or other predators? And then that gets a bit silly pretty quickly. The real key thing for Prey was it was quite a real human story at the end of it with some badass predator in it. I'm not sure. It kind of worries me a bit. Hopefully I'm wrong, guys. Hopefully I'm wrong, but it kind of worries that I'm going to be sat with a predator for 2 hours.
Be like in a Violent Nature, but you know, following from the predator's point of view, just walking along. But
laser sniping people. That'd be quite good. But, I mean, yeah.
Maybe he's learned to talk.
Well, it'd be in camouflage all the time, so you won't actually see anything on screen. You just see that little outline for like 30 minutes, going around, you know, swinging from tree to tree. What a movie!
Yes. What a movie! I have it. Yeah, I'm a bit worried, guys, if I'm honest. But look, who knows? Who knows? Wasn't expecting anything from Prey, so. And that is my news, guys.
I've got a couple of bits. There's a new Terrifier Funko being released, which is a pretty cool one. It's like a set one, like, you know, they do those kind of scenes out of the movies, and it's the one in Terrifier 2 with Sienna in the outfit and art with covered in blood, and all the walls behind them are in blood. It's pretty cool. That's coming out, God knows when, but they've announced it, so that's pretty cool. And another thing, pop culture wise, the X trilogy ornament set from A24 is coming out, which features a bloody axe, Feeder the alligator, and Mother Goose Coke jar, which is pretty cool. They're coming up.
I could think of a few other things they could put in there. Yeah. That might make me want to buy it.
That's pretty cool, though. I'd love to buy them, but they'll probably be about 50 quid.
And Terrifier 3 is getting released before Christmas as well.
I know.
17th of December, just before. A nice, lovely little stocking filler for your granny.
They're also feeding us. Keep feeding us little snippets of after. Is it Alien Earth? Is that what it's called, or After Earth, or whatever it's called on Hulu?
Alien Earth, yeah.
Alien, which we're going to get, I think, on Disney Plus. I think.
Try to stay clear of it, to be fair.
Yeah, it's just they're feeding drips and drabs at the moment. So
I'm hearing words like meta-humans and cyborgs and things, and I'm like, hang on. So alarm bells are going off in my head. So again, well, like Matt said, I'm trying to stay away from as much spoilers, but
error.
Yeah, I read a little thing where you've got a meta-human who's a mind of a child in a body. I don't know. Please don't fuck it up.
Unless they go Starship Troopers route.
But I don't understand why someone doesn't go Starship Troopers route, Paul.
I'm waiting for that movie. You know how I feel like I just want to get Marines in there blowing up aliens, like proper fun action, like cheesy one-liner. I just want them to bring that back for a little bit, just for one movie.
Aliens.
Yeah, aliens. With like more Marines and more aliens, and just do it. Have fun with it. Just like an hour and 20, hour and 30 movie, loads of pulse rifles, loads of fucking just fun. They just need to do that. Be cool. Doesn't have to be having to do anything with anything else. It can be a standalone film. Just be cool. I'd love that. But there you go. Anybody else got any more news?
No, not for me. Let's just get fucking to it, guys. Let's just get into our main review.
Listen, Anne and I have a little announcement to make. We're getting married. Hey! Congratulations!
Anne, the window's tinted. Can't see her.
Good night, then. I picked you up before, haven't I? The hospital. Hospital?
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did. St Mary's Maternity. What's he talking about? He doesn't know, does he?
I'm getting out.
Hey, unlock the doors. Yeah. Yeah, you can leave us here. Right? I can't do that. Shut your fucking mouth!
Quick, the window!
Pair of pricks. Fucking behind this house!
I need to do.
Don't worry, make regular stops. Oh, look, Anne, poor Patrick's crying.
Where are we going?
You believe in ghosts, Anne? Whenever she appears, she's always after the same thing. A child. She's waiting for us. You've seen her, haven't you? Yeah, she has. She's seen her.
Okay, so this week's main review, we went to Shudder, scraped the barrel of Shudder to try and find a relevant new release, because we have been spoiled this year, in fairness, guys. It's been a very, very good year for horror. And as
It was a very good year.
yeah. But obviously there's going to be a few lulls, and we've actually picked a couple of gems out on Shudder. It kind of makes us wish we hadn't watched Mads until this week, but we did. So we found one, and it is Black Cab. So starring Nick Frost, a couple who find their jovial cab driver diverts them to a remote haunted road, revealing disturbing motives and his true intentions. So guys, where do you want to start with this one?
Jovial? Fucking hell. Whew.
Nick Frost, could he save this movie? I mean, look, it was, what, we're talking, it's sort of like there's a tale of two halves here. I just watched the Creep tapes, right, just before this, and the first half I was going, ooh, we're going to get a creepy cab driver here. He's got some great dialogue. He's got some great delivery. There's some. It was very witty. And Nick Frost is great. You chuck him any dialogue and he fucking serves it. And it was quite an interesting concept. Couple coming home in a cab and they get kidnapped. Okay, let's go from there. But the second half with the ghost story, I wasn't sold on whatsoever. They got a bit ropey after that, but like the first bit, the dialogue, and it was getting a bit creepy. I was like, yeah, just continue with Nick Frost as a serial killer. I didn't need a reason.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I thought Nick Frost was absolutely brilliant in it. Character-wise, I thought his character was written well. The dialogue again was great, but I didn't like the lead. I thought she was a bit meh, and it started off well, and it just went downhill for me. I did not enjoy this much. Bollocks. Sorry. Yeah, I did not enjoy it much, boys. What about you, Geordie Paul?
Yeah, I kind of echo your sentiments. You know what I kind of thought when I was watching it? I thought this is the type of film that you'd go and see on one of the side screens at Fright Fest, and you'd take a chance on it, and you might be slightly disappointed by it. Because there was some decent elements in it. I wouldn't go as far as say amazing. And it kind of kept you sort of thinking what's going on, and then when it decided to sort of reveal everything, it was just a bit crap.
Yeah.
For want of a better word. And then it felt quite slick at the start, and then when they're trying to add in the ghost effects, I felt like I was watching some sort of BBC drama from a Sunday afternoon with the ghosts fading in and out. Do you know what I mean? It was a bit like, oh, am I watching Scooby-Doo?
The effects weren't great either, I'll be honest.
And obviously that's probably budget and stuff, I get that, right? But I don't know, then there's plenty of people out there doing like independent horror films that have workarounds for that type of stuff.
Mm.
And while obviously I've never made one, it doesn't seem that difficult to sort of do. And I kind of just was like, whether they were going for like an old school aesthetic for like fading in and out of ghosts, but it just looked a bit shit. And I agree, mate, lead actress, really wooden. Her boyfriend, fiance, whatever he was, just sort of one-dimensional, really. Just, I'm a London twat. You know what I mean? It was just like, oh, yeah. Remember, it just got a bit twisty at the end, but it didn't explain any of the twists, and it left things open, and you were a bit like, well, hang on, which I'm sure we could talk about now, but yeah.
Oh no, and I kept on thinking, like, anytime you chuck it to Nick Frost, it did sort of work, because he can carry it, but he was really carrying a lot.
I thought he was hilarious as well at some points.
Yeah.
The stuff that he was doing was funny. I thought the one-liners were funny.
It's nice to see him in sort of a mucky role, and it was really mucky, and it did feel like it was going, when he was kidnapping them, like, okay, what's he going for here? And like the whole recompense, and like, or, you know, what was going on. You know, perhaps he murdered his wife, do we think? And he's trying to get recompense for that, or did he actually murder his wife and his kid? Or is the ghost nicked his kid, or is the ghost nicked this woman's kid? You know, I didn't really all that sort of Blair Witch nonsense. I don't really, it's sort of like that sort of side of the road tale. It just didn't gel. Like, get a black cab, Nick Frost kidnaps a couple of people, fucking tortures them for a night with great dialogue. I'd watch that all day.
Yeah, well, I kind of thought you were going to get like to the point where I thought the ghost was going to be one of his victims, and actually, while it was terrifying her, at the end it was going to essentially, it was like a warning thing, and the ghost was going to help her.
That's what I thought.
But it was like, oh no, it's a ghost that's trying to. So basically, from what I gather, is that he's obviously a bit mental. Obviously, he's got a past with his dad. He mentions it, and then he argues with his wife, and in response to, because he's a taxi driver. He's obviously going out at night, and then his missus seems a bit unhinged, and she's saying that he's cheating on her. And then in a response to her accusing him, he then threatens, essentially, to murder their child.
Yeah.
So, which is a bit extreme, obviously. But then that then allows the ghost in, essentially. Not right? And then the ghost demands a sacrifice for.
It was essentially driven. She he drove through where she was, the tale was, and it's like she picked up on his negative thoughts and was like, right, I'm having your kid unless you find me another one. So this is the reason why he's kidnapped these two people, is because she's pregnant. Oh wait, twist. No, she fucking aborted the kid, so she hasn't got one, and it's like all a bit topsy turvy. Then
I think she lost it, didn't she? She didn't have it aborted.
Oh, okay.
So that's it's a so that's the twist. So basically he's getting to the point where, he's like gonna sacrifice, and then she's like, I haven't got a child anyway, it's dead.
And he was like, oh, you tricked me, you bitch, and then just runs off. And I was just like, what? I was just like, I just thought it was weak.
Did he knock her over at the end?
Well, that's the thing. So now, right, she's then going, hang on. Rather than just getting out of there, she's chasing after him because she's going, hang on, has this ghost actually caused my miscarriage? Right? Which is a bit of a reach anyway. And now it does that thing in the car where the hands are on the stomach the first time he picks her up. And it's like, so has the child caused the miscarriage? And then has the ghost caused the miscarriage? And then is she dead already? Has he killed her already? And he runs her over, and then she's not there.
It gets a bit too complicated for its own good.
Yeah.
Do you know what it felt like? It felt like this could be a nice little kind of thing in an anthology or something. A little ghosty tale in an anthology movie or something. But they went, oh yeah, that's quite a good idea. Let's make it into a film. But like really drag it out a bit. And yeah.
Because you're right, Paul. It would have been a better payoff if he was just a serial killer. And he made all this shit up in his head to justify him killing people.
But make him a little bit more of a Ryan. Like, he could be a bit more of a Ryan.
Yeah, but he kind of flitted between that, though, Matt. And I thought he flitted a bit too quickly sometimes. Because he was like, oh, don't worry, love. And then he was like, yeah, fuck it. And I'm like, oh, like. Like
a bit of he kind of had what do you call it, like schizophrenia or something like that.
Yeah, but it didn't. I don't think the build-up was enough. I don't think his character was kind of developed enough to sort of warrant a constant change in sort of behaviour. But yeah, it was just a bit bland for me. Like,
it was very bland. It was like, it was not one that's going to make it on the top 10 this year. It's a shame. And don't get me wrong. I'm starting to watch that TV show that he did. I've heard some good things on. It's like Truth Seekers or something like that. It's on Amazon Prime. Apparently, I've heard some good things about that. So I'm going to let him redeem himself by watching that. I'm going to watch that TV series. Anyone watched? Just because I can't be asked to talk about this. Anyone watch Generation Z? Anyone had time for that? Channel 4. I've heard some good things about that too.
Oh, is that the zombie thing? Yeah. I watched the first episode.
Any good?
I was like, it's kind of like been done before, but
Dead Set sort of theory or not?
Not as good as Dead Set. It's more of, it's kind of in between of what was that one?
Cockneys versus Zombies.
No, a little bit. It's just not as kind of like stupid.
Okay.
But it kind of is a stupid premise, if I'm honest.
Okay.
But yeah, I didn't get on with it. That's why I didn't do any more, because I was just like, it's a bit stupid.
There you go. That's how uninterested I am talking about this any further. This Black Cab, to be honest. And, you know, we have talked about Nick Frost in the past. Obviously, we love him from Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz, and all that sort of stuff. But you know, this one just didn't.
Even he couldn't save it.
No. Interested to see what you boys are going to rate it, though.
Geordie Paul?
Well, I'm going to go first. I'm going to give it a 3 out of 10. And really, the 3's Nick Frost's performance. So.
Yeah, I'd probably do the same, 3 out of 10.
I'll go 4, just because Nick, that first sort of half was decent, and the production wasn't awful. Some of the special effects weren't great, but just the story didn't deliver. So yeah, 4 out of 10 for me, but you know, it's not too bad. Draw on Last Breath, 3 out of 10. There we go. So yeah, maybe not one to rush out and watch, but you know, if you like Nick Frost, like that bit of dialogue, go and watch it.
Okay, cool. Should we move on to our movie from the vault?
In the dark past, humans were their prey, and blood was their life.
I'm Radu. Find him before killing begins again.
Now in modern-day Transylvania, eternal evil has reawakened.
I'm afraid for you. She makes me want again. I must destroy him.
Subspecies, starring Michael Watson and Angus Scrimm of Phantasm. Subspecies, the night has fangs.
Okay, this episode's Move from the Vault was my pick, and I got to pick 1991 Subspecies from director Ted Nicolau, who went on to do about 6 of these bad boys, directed every single one of them. What a legend. Let's tell you what it's about. 3 students get caught in the struggle between a good vampire and his evil brother in the Transylvanian mountains. Yeah? 3 friends, Mara, Michelle, and Lillian, set off to Transylvania to do some post-study. They had a bit of a, you know, they wanted to go and root around in the folklore, basically, of the area, just to get some knowledge, really. Get a free holiday, maybe? Not really sure. And there's a bloody vampire. Oh, great name for a vampire as well. Radu. And his brother Stefan. So, there we go.
Well, they're not just on holiday, Paul. They're researching because there's a story in the town they're going to. So let's give it a bit of plot. It's what is it? There's basically a story whereby the townsfolk. Oh, that's it. Yeah, they're at war with the Turks. The gypsies were at war with the Turks.
Yeah.
And they were all hemmed in, and they were all, you know, struggling, and they were all going to get defeated. And then basically they made a deal with the vampires who lived there, because every town's got vampires.
The vampires essentially came to their rescue.
Yes, and basically
like in Twilight.
Yes, like in Twilight. Yes. Jesus wept. Right. So yeah. But so the vampires then wiped out all the Turks, and then what happened then was there was basically like a truce built up, a bit like in Underworld, if we're going to reel off shite vampire films. So we'll you know, a bit like, yeah, so a truce that they would like live alongside each other, and that, you know, they would live in peace together. You know, obviously the vampires wouldn't go and eat all the villagers, and the villagers wouldn't go and murder all the vampires. So Yeah, so that's the whole story around this town. That's what these people have come to kind of study it and do, research on it.
Tonally, we're probably thinking Lair the White Worm meets Wicker Man meets
Meets Dinosaurs, the TV show.
Interview with a Vampire. I don't know. It had an okay production on it for what it was. It didn't feel too bad. I mean, we'll have some serious words about the state of the vampires. But the gothic nature of it all, and it felt like a vampire folklore horror. Matt, you're shaking your head. Come on.
Fucking terrible. I don't know what you two are on about. Fucking hell. It was terrible. I nearly fell asleep. The acting was fucking shit. It was a TV movie at best.
Like Wurzel Gummidge?
It was so boring. So boring, man. And you know me, I'll try and find anything out of something. The one thing that creeped me out a bit was a little fucking stop-go animation, guys. I thought that was cool.
Straight out of the gate.
The rest of them, it was absolutely trash. Like some vampire with the longest penis fingers I've ever seen in my life.
Salad fingers.
Literally, yeah, that's it. Salad fingers. It is. It's just like fucking hell.
I thought he looked a bit like Sting.
Oh mate.
And let's not forget the MacGuffin of the bloody film, the Bloodstone, which was the all power and all conqueror thing. Or
sucking on some thing that looked like a dummy. A dummy with blood on it.
Yeah. You look like one of them pops you get, on the rings when you're a kid. Them lollipops.
I think the reason they did that, they were just, can we get it to look more like a tit, please? We need it more looking like a tit because we want you to suck on it really weirdly. It's just,
Hey,
sorry, but
I will
get on with it.
I don't know if you've got some Matt's facts for later, but
dragged up some, yeah.
David Allen is the visual effects guy on here, who's been involved in quite a few movies that we do know about.
Yeah, he must have been hard up for some cash at this one.
The Howling, Willow, Ghostbusters 2. I thought he might be on the gate. He did a lot of Puppet Master, Demonic Toys. He's been involved in a lot of these sort of things. Reanimated 2 is another one. Robot Jocks. Oh, remember that one. I mean, I'm stretching it. It's just like, it was a gothic mess for me. It was, punishing to watch. The score made me want to throw up, throughout it. It was just unbearable. And it made it so lethargic and,
It was like Alvin and the Chipmunks did metal. That's what it sounded like. It was like, someone turned the frequency of a metal song up. That's what it sounded like to me. I was just like, oh my god, it doesn't even sound like church music anymore. It's like, oh, yeah.
But you're right. The best thing about it was those little stop motion guys. The three sort of women in it were pretty poor. They do.
The love bit, man. Stefan just rocks up, right? Now I know there's this mysticism about vampires, right, which please don't go into, right? But it's like, just literally like, Stefan, there's this woman. You're falling in love? She met her once. And then she's like, well, Stefan, oh my god, you can't be. Oh my, it was horrible.
Fucking terrible, man. I was just like, it was so all over the place with the storyline as well. There wasn't really a storyline. It was just like, it was just crazy. It was just like, and there's one part where the girls go on a little trip out for a walking little trip, and they fall asleep for 3 hours. Were they supposed to be under some kind of spell or something?
She got bit the night before.
Last I heard, vampires were scared of sunlight, where blatantly the sun is going down, but he's just walking around in the daylight anyway.
He gets scratched. She got scratched by him at first.
I know, but it was just like, we've been asleep for 3 hours. We've got to get back. And then there's this weird bit where the good brother runs after the bad brother and doesn't do anything and just falls down and covers himself with his coat. And it's just like, is that it? It's so much, what's it called, exposition in this film. It's like,
I did like his mate though, the comical Fiddler on the Roof guy who was like, I will shoot them! them. I will
Yeah.
stab
Van
them.
Helsing
Shoot
himself.
them.
Van Helsing, yeah.
The best thing about this is the movies that came after.
Is
I
it?
really did. I did have a good read of some of the plots to those.
I think as a bit of homework, you should go and watch the rest of them.
I'm going to.
Report back.
This is my new favourite thing. The second one's called Bloodstone, so it centres around that little butt plug thing. And Radu offs his brother. Spoilers in the first 5 minutes. So that was pointless. All that work that he did, lopping his head off, that's done. The little creatures bring him back together somehow, and then he gets his mum involved. Right, and they start chasing after Michelle, whatever her name is. That's pretty much the second one. Bloodlust, Subspecies 3, is pretty much the mum with Michelle, and Radu comes back again somehow. Then they got the Vampire Journals in 1997. Subspecies 4, Bloodstorm, 1998. But this is the best thing. Obviously, we're living in a nostalgia age at the moment. So last year, 2023, the crowd must have been going wild for this. It's like, why haven't we had Subspecies 5? And they got it. Subspecies 5 Blood Rise in 2023. So it's had there is obviously some kind of, maybe, Mutilator 2 sort of scenario thing going on here where the director hasn't done anything for a shot and he thought, maybe I'll go and visit that movie I did 20 years ago. So yeah, you're all lucky, mate. There's 4 more to watch. I will be plowing through them. Don't know if Radu pops up in the fifth one, but no, he does. Yeah, begins with the birth of Radu. So that's
the prequel.
Yeah, that's what we like. That's the way to do it, isn't it?
Well,
really.
like I said,
Subspecies 5, how I grew my fingers.
he must have been quite prolific behind the bike sheds.
I'd be fucked if he drops his keys though. How's he going to pick them up?
I'm wiping his ass. That must be nice.
He gets those little red things to do that for him.
Oh yeah. The thing is, I said to you, I think when you said about it, I said I've never heard of this film. And there's probably a big reason why I've never heard of this film, because it's so fucking shit.
I know, man. I thought you would have fallen in love.
The cover was awesome. The cover, it's one of those covers that I would have picked up. Those little guys on the cover are lifting one of the girls up, walking along, it looks cool. And I was like, I think I would have rented that in the video shop. And then unfortunately got duped by it and took it back and got it shit.
Well, it was straight to video when it came out. So.
There you go. Yeah.
I did feel like I was watching the Meatloaf I Would Do Anything for Love, but I won't do that video. So
it was like a cheesy TV movie that was I don't know, again, written by the fucking Baywatch crew or something.
I reckon they get better, and as long as that score, the people, I reckon they get better over the next couple. That's what I'm hoping for.
Well, you can report back and let us know.
I love your eternal optimism, mate. I do.
It's just I like a good vampire story, and it was a different told. I've never seen a vampire with that long of fingers, and it's sort of
Nosferatu?
Well, even Nosferatu though, he's got long
red lipstick.
He's got long nails. He doesn't look like Herman Monster.
Did you spot the massive continuity error though when he bit Michelle's neck? And then she walked around the next few scenes without any blood on her until the close-up of Stefan biting her neck at the end. Did you not notice that? I was literally like, did he not bite her? He mustn't have bit her. Oh, yeah, he did bite her.
And obviously they had to chain one of them up to the wall and rip her dress so much that her nipples were through the dress, strategically placed.
1991, bit of gratuitous nudity. That's just the done thing, right?
Decent teeth. Decent vampire teeth. I'll give you that, Paul.
Decent vampire teeth.
Decent teeth.
Okay.
The dude from Phantasm was in it. That gives it about half a point.
Was he the king at the beginning?
Yeah.
Because we didn't really discuss what happened. If anyone's interested, Radu, the evil brother, if you like, came back because his father was relinquishing his power over the realm, maybe, and he was going to give it to the one that wasn't really interested. And then he comes back and fuck that, mate. I'm going to fucking have you. And he stabs his dad.
I mean, only after getting out of his brilliant, elaborate trap.
It was
That
very
set for him.
elaborate.
I mean, that cage was a tough one to get out of, that one.
Yeah, but he created 3 little red monsters to help him do that. And
To
in
be
fact,
honest, you just had to step through the bars. That
Or
was.
lift the cage up from the bottom because it didn't have a bottom on it.
when have we ever seen a sword fight in a vampire movie as well? So that's
That
another
was so bad as well. Like, they must have had like 10 minutes before practice or something. Guys, we've got to shoot a scene. I've got an idea. Got a couple of swords here. Let's get involved. Right, I've got this guy. He was on a pirate film like 30 years ago. He's going to show you a few moves, and then you're just going to go for it, ad-lib, go. That's how bad it looked. Yeah.
But there we go. I mean, you know, and we get, like I said, a little bit of a Wicker Man moment with a bit of lore going on. I do think there was just like an element of Wicker Man vampires. Sort
Keep poking the bear, mate, because that ain't going to come out of the cage.
Oh, this one was hard to watch, but you know, it's
Cheers, Butch. Thanks for that, mate.
it's a
Great pick.
different kind of vampire movie. You're welcome. And there's 4 more to watch, so you know, should start.
Some Matt's facts before we leave.
Yeah.
So this was the first American film to be shot in Romania, particularly in the aftermath of the fall of the communism in Romania. The song Nightwing by Swedish black metal band Marduk from their 1998 album of the same name is a cover of the main theme of Subspecies, and the song itself is about the main antagonist Radu Vladlasis. The Subspecies minions were originally going to be played by live actors in costumes. Director Ted Nicolau thought that the stuntmen were overacting and that it didn't look well overall. So Nicolau then brought on FX artist David W. Allen to work with the Subspecies stop motion puppets. Another deleted scene from the film featured Radu turning into a rotted corpse while asleep during the day. The director had the scene removed after realising the effects didn't look very good. Elements of the film, particularly in Subspecies Minions, are actually recycled from the unmade film called The Subterraneans, which in turn was originally to have been filmed in the 1980s by producer Charles Band's previous studio, Empire Internationale, in Rome.
There we go. That is some good Matt's facts. You've done well there to find out that stuff.
I couldn't even be bothered to see the death toll.
2 vampire women. Radu's not dead, so can't have that one really. But
The 2.
you don't know that. So
Did the old guy get killed?
What about
the
what about the old woman?
Oh, the king. Yeah.
Did they wheel out an actual? Remember that sort of scene with like an old woman there, and they were saying like, "Oh, this could be you" and stuff like that. Was she? Did they lop someone's head off in that ceremony? Or was that fake? Is that like?
There was somebody who died off camera and they were saying that they chopped her head off and put a stake through because they heard that vampires were about, so.
Okay, so they did do a bit of sacrificing. There we go. So, Subspecies. It's a strong 5 out of 10 for me.
Wow. I go 3 out of 10, and that was just for the booby with blood on it. The thing he's sucking, the butt plug.
Booby
No?
plug.
No, actually, no. 3 out of 10 just for the stop motion bit.
Well, okay then guys, I'm going to go 2 because it was absolute tripe.
I think you're going to regret that rating. I think in a couple of months you'll be like, "Oh, it was cheese on toast. I think I fancy watching Bloodstone, the second one, after I tell you all about it."
I mean, yes, Paul.
We're going to continue this. We're going to continue this. So I'm going to be watching the next 5, and I'll bring them to the podcast.
I know it's cold at the minute, but it's not cold enough for hell to freeze over for me to watch all that shite. So yeah, no.
All right. Well, what is it cold?
Another one. They're not all big hitters, but yeah.
What is it cold enough, Paul? I think it's your pick, isn't it?
Yeah, it is my pick. So I am going back to the 80s, guys. So we spent too much time in the 90s. Back to the 80s. It's from 1982, which was the best year ever because that's the year I was born. And it's from the US, and it is the film Death Screams.
What the fuck?
Okay. I've not seen this.
I've not heard of
However, I do fucking love the cover.
I will give you a quick rundown. In one of the most unlikely cinematic pairings of all time, David Nelson, who rose to fame as a child star playing alongside his real-life family in the wholesome TV show The Adventures of Ozzie and Harriet, directs Playboy playmate and adult star Susan Kygar in this body count heavy, long overlooked slice of southern fried hack and slash 1982's Death Scream.
And where can we watch this amazing?
On Arrow.
I mean, the poster's insane.
Yeah, I love the cover.
Alright. We're gonna get a fucking... Oh, God.
Interesting, I've not seen it.
Hopefully my hot streak continues. So,
I mean, a nice clean hour 28. Sex and nudity is mild, so it's disappointing.
Your ears pricked up my Playboy playmate, didn't it?
There we go. Okay. Nice one. Okay, well, that's under episode 168. Thank you for listening to a rather hasty podcast. It's a bit quick one today because obviously we did have 2 parts basically to talk about.
Which is, to be fair, this year we haven't had too many duds, real duds.
Really.
So, it was bound to happen sooner or later.
Let us know what you feel about Black Cab. Listen to our social media at the end and write and tell us all about Subspecies and your love for the franchise. Moving on to episode 169. We don't know what we're doing for our main review. We are at a bit of like we said, we've been sport this year and we've got no fucking idea what's going on for the next couple of episodes. So we will just keep
winging
it. But Paul continues to, thrill us with his move from the vaults, and we'll be watching 1982's Death Screams. And with that, there's only one more thing to say. When there's no more room in hell, here's another podcast.
I am the devil, and I am here to do the devil's work.
You can follow us on Twitter at DrawOneLast, Instagram at DrawOneLastBreath, or pop us an email at DrawOneLastBreathPod@hotmail.com.